Hi, that's me. We're in Africa, taking off from Morn, which is a small town in Botswana. In fact, there are no big towns in Botswana. For that matter, hardly any towns at all. Most of the land is the Kalahari Desert, and like a lot of deserts, surprisingly full of life. Though right this moment, that's not what Helen is thinking. Our plane flew with all the grace of a bumblebee, leaving her in far too delicate a state to contemplate what kind of drinks we would be having for our sundowners, which seems to be the main question on our guides' minds. But they soon got down to the business of giving us a natural history lesson. Yes, you're contemplating how they would taste.
So you guys know the collective word for a group of warthogs? Dawn? Sounders.
Sounder.
Sounders of warthogs. Want me to stop?
Yes, please. Quora Camp is in the Okavango Delta in the Moreni Game Reserve, and a very long way from anything, at least as far as humans are concerned. But for the giraffes, it is Central Station. The amazing thing about giraffes is not their long necks or their special valves controlling the blood supply to their heads, but that they blend in so well with the trees and can so easily just disappear into the background. We'd had a long 24 hours of flights and a safari. So when the sun went down, we felt we deserved our cold white wine, watching the hippos in one of the many water holes scattered about the region.
Where am I?
Yeah, little Quora.
Oh, little Quora.
Little Quora.
And I'm admiring the sunset and the hippopotami. And I've taken my seasickness pills, so I'm really dopey.
And it'll go well with
it.
And how far away from the sea are you?
How far away from the sea am I?
Yeah.
I'm 1,000,000 miles away from the sea, aren't I? Yes. I'm in the Okavango Delta.
Lions, leopards, hyenas, elephants held no fear for our guides, Jacob and Justice, but hippos were not to be messed with.
Those you can see them sometimes every day.
Yeah.
Like cats, lions, and leopards, and cheetahs, but sometimes it can take like a couple of days, 5 days, you can't see nothing. Depending about how they're lucky, sometimes you die.
So what was your first adventure that really gave you the travel bug? What's your footstep instead?
And so ended the first day. The drive back to the camp was conspicuous for its darkness, which for us city folk is a matter of some interest in itself. Okay, where are you?
Same place as I was yesterday. I'm in Quora.
Oh yeah, and what are you doing?
I'm going off to hunt cats.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
this group of male lions was known as the brothers. They were probably closely related, if not exactly brothers. Apparently, male lions would hunt in packs and generally look after each other. This bunch had been feeding well, hence the reason we were off the menu. You began to get the feeling that this area was something of a holiday resort for the animals as well as for us. Not all the game in Africa is big game. Impalas, zebras, elephants, just another day in Africa. We always felt something of a fraud though. We were supposed to be interested in their mating habits, migration patterns and whether poachers were hunting them down. We were supposed to be ticking them off our list. We had to bag the big five. And we didn't even know who the big five were. It all seemed irrelevant. They were here and we were here and we still hadn't had breakfast. Nothing is as it is back home, and that is the whole point of coming on these journeys. Yes, it's hippo time again. Hippos seem to come in large, larger and super size. And they also seem to be the only animal that any of the rangers have actually had to shoot. Apparently, once they get a mind to go for you, you'd better learn how to climb a tree very quickly.
You can take binoculars and cameras, but you can leave some of the stuff. So,
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine. Yeah. Are you much better now?
Oh yes, she's a lot better now.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Okay. You have a good sighting this morning, I think.
We did, yes. We
saw some lions?
we saw the lions, yes, lots of male lions, about
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. Wow. The lions, that was good.
Yeah, we saw beautiful lions this morning.
Yes.
They were quite stunning, and they were so full of food that they just
They were
sat
full
there.
buried.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very good.
that's you.
No, it's not me.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. See?
I look like a white man.
Wow.
That's justice.
Look at that.
I never... I never knew that up.
Okay.
I'm going on a... What am I going on?
A Komora, isn't it? Or is that a cormorant?
No, Makora.
A Makora.
Makora.
Gomzi says there's a little cat here.
A little cat?
Yeah.
As in kitty cat or as in wild predatory animal cat?
Don't know where this cat is coming from.
Hi guys.
Now we just have the punting song, don't we?
Just getting the gun.
Okay. This is part of the relaxation protocol, isn't it? And we're off.
It's wonderful. Nice and cool. Very smooth, no bumpers.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no
much
bumps.
nicer than having that
Oh yeah.
motor roaring behind you.
These are most of my favorite transport I like.
Do you?
Yeah. In my home, I could take them cruise outside of the village, about 5-6 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
Find an island middle of the water. Spend a couple of the night. If I'm gonna come back to the village, catch about some fish, try another fish.
Uh-huh.
Eat them. It's very nice. Yeah. It's beautiful.
The Makoro, which basically means canoe, used to be made out of sausage tree logs, but now it's fiberglass. And nothing I can say can evoke the experience of this area. The pleasures of the wilderness are directly related to the fact that you cannot describe them. You've got to go there. The smells, the light, the stillness, well, I'll let it attempt to speak for
Flowers on the
itself.
water lily. Are the leaves.
Yeah.
But otherwise, after you have to go to school. But for the culture, the father just take you about for you to need to make the balance.
How many times did you fall?
Because most of the people. No. Because the more you spend most of the time in the area, the more you learn the area. That's how my father just teach me how to learn about the area, how to look about the trees. You have to look about the grass or the road. Because the tree is different. Sometimes you see the big trees. The side is the giant trees. They pull apart. Problem is the wooden core can't last too long. That's 2 years. they come in the front of the fridge in the bar.
Yes.
See that one? It's so crazy.
I think on this place?
Why it's in the game? Okay,
Okay, yeah, no.
So there you go, that wasn't so bad, was it?
No, that wasn't so bad. No, that was wonderful, actually.
It's not wild dogs, it's rowan antelopes. No, sable antelopes.
You said wild dog.
Oh, wild dog road. The guy fired some rounds in the air,
Yeah.
but the hippo just kept coming.
What's the back sides of it?
That's right, I'll give it.
This is all the water diggings, eh? So the apples and up.
We apparently were lucky. Wherever we looked, there were animals: zebras, jackals, warthogs, and those big antelope stroke cow things were tsebi. I've no idea how to pronounce that. As we waited for the plane to the next camp, others told us that they had seen nothing that day. Apparently that's the way it goes out here.
More the merrier. Okay. You got one of these.
I'm sure I've got one of those, just for you. There's
Sorry. I'm getting prepared.
Helen, nice to meet you. My name is THAB, or call me Tabo.
Hello, Lawrence.
Lawrence, nice to meet you. I'm Tabo.
Okay.
Because if you know your habits, it's much better.
Where are you going now?
I'm going to Labala, which is
that?
north of where we've just come from. And we had a much better flight this time, I'm pleased to report.
Opa! Opa!
Makanyaga
was mini pizza, mini pizza, cheese, bacon, something wrapped in bacon.
Any good photos?
Yes, I have some good photos. Of course I have some good photos. Amongst the million of them, there must be one good one.
That's the way. Ketate, you say, right? Ketate? Metate? Matata.
Another long day in the bush. So now was the time for something more relaxing. A nice gin and tonic with the sun going down. But suddenly there seemed to be some sort of emergency. We had to get out of there as quickly as possible. Wild animals, we thought, were charging our way. Taking an active movie now. Yeah. But not quite. A leopard had been, so to speak, spotted. And that was one of the big five we just had to bag. Okay, what day is it? Where are we going?
Oh,
What are we doing?
It's Wednesday and we're going off on a game hunt and it's just after sunrise.
And it's a bit chilly.
But it is a bit chilly.
I should give my diary, shouldn't I?
Yes.
But I'm so many days out of date now. I was going to do it last night.
But my camera's got a date stamp on it, so I know when the photos. We've got our itinerary, so we can put the two together.
Yes, well, I was going to give my impressions.
Yes, I would like
Yes.
that.
But I was too tired last night. That's my main impression.
We could do it this afternoon.
We could, but we might be too tired then as well. My main impression right this moment is that I'm cold. Life in the wild is always portrayed as some sort of battle, but many species live in cooperative gangs and herds, and even between the species there's a great deal of cooperation. The zebras, for instance, live with the wildebeest. The zebra confuse the predators, and the wildebeest, out of thanks, leads zebras to the water. The ostrich, I'm not quite sure what the ostriches do, but they seem to disguise themselves as bushes, so I assume that they must act as spies for the others. What do I know about elephants? Well, they're big, and they live in family herds. The sons become troubled teenagers and get kicked out by their mothers to go fend for themselves or join a gang of other hooligans who like to pull down trees and generally make a nuisance of themselves. But if a big old bull elephant catches up with them, they will discipline them and make men of them, or at least teach them how to get mates and cooperate with each other. They also talk to each other by rumbling noises that they listen for, not with their ears, which you would imagine were pretty sensitive, but with the soft part of their foot on the ground. And I think that's about all I do know about elephants, but it's pretty amazing stuff either way.
Why are they putting their trunk up?
Trying to catch some
To put their trunk up.
He's trying to tell us something.
Yes. Stay away from my little one.
I see. I don't want them to be right in front of us because some elephants, but this one they're not gonna fight us. Some can fight us. I mean, charge us. So then if they're in front, if they come from straight from the front, can't get away on a reverse gear. So that's why we want them to be in front of us. And these ones are not fighting. The fighting ones would have already attacked. There's just a mother who is curious because of the babies.
kaas, hè? Heb je dat gezien? Twee verschillende... Ja. Ja, die is gespoeld.
If there's a kill here, he'll be right on this tree here or this one, very close to where the kill is. But the way the
Having said what a peace-loving bunch of characters wild animals are, here we find a buffalo that's been savaged by lions. So if you look closely, it has very bad injuries and will probably be taken by the lions when they come back later in the day. Buffalo, like hippos, are also not to be messed with. They are remarkably intelligent and cooperative and will fight as a team.
Those look more healthy.
Thank you.
at very tender age, you get about from 7 months, 8 months. It starts.
So more.
This is by far more than 200.
Oh yeah.
But this is more than 10 years. Oh, this is about 20.
Deze andere. Oh,
Wat nu?
die andere.
God, dat meer zeg. Lastig, hè?
So what are you up to now?
Up to now, I'm just taking a break from all those bumps. And what can you see, Lawrence?
I see hippo,
Druk je even eerst
Crocodile.
hier, dat hij stilstaat en zo scherp
I
mogelijk.
can see,
Heel,
and a woman with a silly hat on,
dan weer
Oh,
video
yeah.
camera.
daar ergens. Vandaag maar eens op de kant. Goed.
Here we have the kudu. I can't tell you much about them other than they are on the menu in all the best restaurants. South Africans are meat eaters almost to the exclusion of anything else, and they like their meat chewy. We had one of these grilled over charcoal in Chobe, and it was a interesting flavour, a little chewy for our taste, but nonetheless it was almost like steak, cross between steak and venison. We also had springbok sausages when we were in Johannesburg, and they also suffered from the lack of fat on the meat and its general sort of chewy textures, but not bad at all. Speaking of food, what perhaps should be pointed out is that this is about 8 o'clock in the morning, which in my normal world is an unheard of time. And interesting though looking at birds can be, all I'm thinking about is bacon, eggs, sausages, beans. Now that's real safari food. It's also on the minds of our drivers, and here we are, back off to camp. Our outdoor shower. Ooh. Right, what have we seen? Hippos and hyenas and lions and even ostriches, yes, ostriches, buffaloes, and even a leopard. Little hopping squirrel things, yes, and it was a hyena, yes. Oh, right, yes. A springing, I don't know, a springing hare. That's right. And giraffes, of course, and lots of elephants. I've seen lots of elephants. But of course the most impressive bit is the fact that it smells of like a packet of Paxos, the whole place. It's a sage it smells of, huge amounts of it, and just the landscape, it goes on forever, and huge skies with bright stars at night and darkness, and it's not silent though, because it's full of animals that are making huge amounts of noises, smashing things down or fighting with each other and squabbling. Just round the back last night we had to wait for a couple of passing hippopotamuses before we can get into our room. All that is really what it's all about here. I could do without being bumped around so much in the car. I think I'd prefer to walk around the place, but I think being in the way of a herd of stampeding buffaloes whilst you're walking might be a little bit off-putting. We are amongst a herd of about 200 buffaloes today, and they didn't look too friendly. The elephants also didn't look too friendly. I think they would have charged us if we'd got out of the truck. But yeah, definitely an experience. Yeah. That's right, something would just leap out from somewhere because you can't see these things until you're right up on top of them. Well, there we are. That's my video diary, finally. Another day hunting the perfect shot. Here we have the ancestors, a troop of baboons, and they like to hang around various trees for shelter and a quick escape. But once the place has been trashed or just gets too boring, the leaders start moving the tribe off to another tree for a different perspective on things. Much like us, really. Wildebeest, jackals, who look far more cuddly than their reputation, impala, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, a red lechwe, or lekwe, which is a kind of antelope that likes to paddle a lot. African fish eagles, and of course, elephants. It can all become routine. You can become quite blasé about it all. Until an elephant charges you, of course, and you forget you're not in some sort of virtual reality game with a reset button.
Were they angry? Was she angry at you?
No, that's the youngsters. Babies are babies, you know. Just having fun. You see, the mothers are not even worried.
Not me always.
So that's the big male. You see, he's big. That's the male. The cattle eaters, they follow animals because they eat insects. So as the animals walk in the grass, they disturb the insects, and as the insects fly, they catch them.
What's the name of the wild one?
Egret.
What, egret?
Egret, yeah. A-A-A-A-T.
So what are you up to now?
Oh, I was just thinking there aren't any convenient termite mounds for us. That's what I was thinking.
Well, you can go hopping and skipping in that direction towards those trees. There's only a few elephants there.
Tadi hamu porting ha mutuma de ya di ispotio mutuma ni di kulo ha ferodi. So it's so look at that. It's beautiful.
What are you going to tell us about today?
Today is Thursday. Is it Thursday?
I think so.
Okay.
Could be.
This is our last game drive in Havana before we head off somewhere else.
Oh, your bag's in the back. So where are you now? Should we be here?
Yes, we should.
Just as well then, isn't it?
You think we should be somewhere else?
I don't know. It should be Chobe as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I see. You all right in the back there?
Yeah, I was okay. How about you?
Yeah.
Quite steady until the
The
landing.
end, yes. When we went into the clouds.
Yeah.
Had to close my eyes then.
Isn't this the place we came?
Okay, we're on the Chobe River in the far north of Botswana, and we're now going to go on a river cruise for too many hours, I think. And we expect to see hippos and elephants and buffalo, I believe.
And fish, probably.
And fish. I don't know about that. But let's jump out and say hello.
soki nalongola motema ya kolinga bapesa ngai nazali komituna mpona nini bolingo ezali ejuste boye. tafungola motema nanga otala esko yebaka bolingo na pesa yo bolingo ya basantu olingi nalata susi.
Now I would like to have shown you amazing shots of elephants swimming across the river, but unfortunately that videotape was damaged beyond repair. And I would have liked to have shown you some of the ladies in this village across the river in Namibia that we talked to. But that went as well, so you'll have to make do with some still photos. The main claim to fame that this village on Impala Island had was that it was the home of the Namibian ambassador to China. As you can see, it was a palace compared to what everybody else was living in. Yeah. So he's a powerful man. So there you go. You see, you have the medical and religious.
Medical religious.
And the political.
The sister for this one. He's married the sister for this one.
Yeah.
Yes. I like because out of those things you help other people.
Yes.
You become him. You're right. Aba, iba kaula. Akala tu.
nabali bolingo nabali makambo angai nakobala te nga nakobala te imozemba nanga mpe natika te imozemba nanga mpe naboya te angai nakobala te.
And so ended a brief trip across the Chobe and Zambezi rivers to the Caprivi strip of Namibia, a piece of land taken by the Germans sometime in the 19th century, largely to get water for Windhoek, the capital. And although officially a source of friction in the region, well, we didn't see anybody taking any notice of the borders whatsoever.
Eva. Opa. Opa, ma. Opa. 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 Opa, baby. Coup de foudre. Opa. Opa. Coup de froid. Opa. Opa. Coup de ten ten ten. Ah ah. Hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo yo. Hey yo yo. Hey yo yo yo. Hey yo yo yo. Hey yo 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 yo. Hey yo 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 yo. Hey yo 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 yo. Hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo.
So what's the plan for the day?
The plan for today is we're being driven to the border, and then we take a boat and we land in Zambia, and then we're driven to Livingstone, and then this afternoon we go off and see the Victoria Falls. My camera, but it's not too much palaver.
Crossing Zimbabwe and Mozambique and end up into the Indian Ocean. And again here we have 4 corners set off from there. Between the 2 rivers we've got Namibia. That is Zambia, we're going there, and Zimbabwe behind these power lines. So the meeting point is right here where we are.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So we're nowhere.
Yeah, so this is no man's land. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your tour.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So where are you?
I'm in Livingstone, overlooking Victoria Falls, and I'm in a very lush 5-star hotel with grovelling stuff.
That's right, and
I've just had a welcome hand massage.
it's a shame that we're not staying here for a couple of days. But, would it be better than this? The children's place. Okay, where are you, Helen?
Where am I? I'm at the top of the Victoria Falls. About to get very wet, I think.
And what's its name in the local language?
Its name in the local language is
Musi Otunya.
Musi Otunya.
Yes.
Musi Otunya. And what is the local language?
That is Tonga.
Tonga.
Yes.
Tonga. That's about the 7th language we've come across here. Stanley Livingstone, I presume. Well, he came here around about 1856, and the waterfalls were somewhat of a disappointment to him. He'd rather hoped that you could travel the Zambezi right up into the central plains of Africa, and thus open it up to civilization and trade. This place is wet, as you can see. In fact, wet does not do it justice. It's a concept that sort of implies water, but this is more than water. This is some weird penetrating substance that came at you from all angles, from up and from down, from the left and the side. My ears were filled with it. My pockets sloshed out with this stuff. It soaked through my shirt. It soaked through my trousers. My shoes were completely absorbed whatever it was that was being thrown at us from all angles. It was truly a spectacular experience. You simply have to go there. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, and during the construction of this bridge, buildings that you are seeing on that end are now in Zimbabwe, and half of the bridge is Zambia, half of it is Zimbabwe. Yeah. So on the middle,
what was that?
I'm very, very wet at the moment.
I didn't see anything. I just got blasted with water.
Yeah. If we turn back, face it, so we might see it going back. We might see it later.
Well, we just had a warthog encamped on our doorstep there.
Yes, we weren't quite sure whether we
They're
were supposed
dangerous or
yes,
not. Yeah.
yeah.
And was he?
Well, fortunately, he got up and walked away before we had to leave the room. But we had to leave the room then. We weren't sure what to
Land which was plagued by malaria. Livingstone was founded in 1905, named after the Scottish missionary Dr. David Livingstone, who was a missionary, explorer, and a medical doctor. Apparently, Dr. Livingstone was also fond of haggis and caber tossing. Born in Blantyre, Scotland in 1813, Livingstone was one of the first Europeans to set foot in this area.
Well, I'm sure you didn't buy that crack about David Livingstone being rather fond of caber tossing. In fact, I suspect he was probably more fond of tossing back a few gin and tonics whilst on the Sundowner cruise up the Zambezi. And this, unfortunately, is the end of our holiday, and a very pleasant, relaxing, and altogether rather enjoyable holiday it was too.
Wadionti wadi Aramane Wadionti wadi Yela yo ye Yela la Bismillah yo ko wadionti wadi arang mane ko wadionti wadi ila yo ye la la Ulango jere, ulango walu, odo de wolde, hatande nane. Ulango jere, ulango walu, odo de wolde, hatande nane. Sidina umatali kinoma na fore Afrika yejita Almami samuri ture likinoma na fore Ndeisa na Afrika yejita
Awe Africa.